Hello. So it's Kari from Reseller Revenue. We usually talk about reselling, obviously, and mostly on eBay. But today I'm going to talk about my struggles on, just trying to come back from vacation mode. And then I had that really bad return right afterwards. And, it was really easy just to say, well, eBay doesn't like me anymore. I'm not getting the sales I'm used to. And, woe is me. But I think I started becoming emotionally reacting to what was happening and that the sales were, slowing down and that I just couldn't find my footing. And I think I just didn't give it enough time. And so I guess in a nutshell, I kind of figured out, I think it was me. And it usually is me when there's a problem. I'm kind of doing these, I take my, I call these like mulling it over with Molly. If you want to know who Molly is. That little Frenchie right here. Say hello, Molly. Meow meow. Yep, say hello. Molly and I take her on a walk all the time, and even though we live out in the middle of nowhere land, as you can see behind me, Molly cannot be trusted off leash because she goes right for the sheep lot, so got to keep her on a leash. But anyway, so I use this time when I'm just out in the nature, quiet, and all you can hear is birds and maybe a occasional sheep, to kind of just think about my business and to think about, what's gone right, what's gone wrong. I don't have a selfie stick on me, so hopefully I'm not making everybody really dizzy. But anyway, so I was really stressed out about coming back from vacation, and my sales just, they dropped 46% while I was gone, which pretty common for me whenever I've used time away mode. However, they just didn't. They started to bounce back. I got that return. They went back down. And then I think I started emotionally reacting. And so I was like, oh, I got to run a coupon. I don't ever run a coupon. I've got to change my promotions. And I just immediately started doing what I thought I could do to make it come back. And, I had somebody from the group that knows me very well in my business mode very well. And she's like, you just need to do what you know works. And she was right. So I just stopped making all these emotional reactions and just went back to like my same promoted rate I've always done, my same listing goal I've always done, and back to the same, sales and markdowns, and just following my process, the ones that I know that works. And sure enough, they've started to come back. They aren't like stellar, but like I think I sold 31 things yesterday, which is a pretty common number for me for a Saturday. So in the ballpark anyway. I don't think my net sales, like as far as what my payouts usually are, is quite up to par again. However, they're coming back, and I know this stuff, right? I know that you have to trust in the process and just do what you know works and do more of it. I know this about myself. I preach it to people all the time. It's different when it happens to us, right? It's just different. It's different when it's our store and our bills that maybe not get paid because, our sales are down and things aren't going the way that we want them to. So I just want to let you know, you're not, you guys aren't alone. This happens to me, and it literally in a matter of 3 or 4 days of being bummed out, you can just start questioning everything. And that's what I was doing. I was like, oh my gosh, maybe I need to just total pivot. Maybe jewelry isn't for me, and it really was not that long period of time, but it sure felt like a long time when it's happening to you and things aren't going well and you start wondering why. And is it eBay? Is it the algorithm? Is it my item? Is it, the market? Is it tariffs? Whatever we want to say. But in all reality, it usually turns out that it's me. And I think that probably happens to most people at some point or another. And it certainly has happened to me. So the other thing that I've just been really thinking about, this kind of just started making me have a whole lot of thoughts about my business and what am I doing? Am I doing it correctly, or should I be doing things different? Is this another thing that I preach to other people, but it's different when it's ourselves. And it's that, this isn't really supposed to be comfortable. This isn't supposed to all be fun. It's not supposed to be easy. If we're trying to get this to be full-time and pay our bills, then you know what? It's probably going to be harder and more hours than it was when we were clocking into a job. And I tell people that all the time. But I started thinking to myself, I really don't love taking photos after about an hour and a half. I just start hating life in general. But, sometimes that's like too bad, so sad. If I want to keep growing my business, then, I probably need to suck it up and do more pictures and do more listings and, get more items in my store, because it shrinks some weeks and then I'm not really ever building my business up the way it needs to be. It needs to be compounding, and I need to have more value in my store and more dollars in my store if I want to sell more dollars in my store. So while it's so easy for me to always tell other people that when I'm providing coaching and stuff, it's not that easy when it's when it's yourself, which seems silly, but it's just the way I operate, I guess. But I really think that we as resellers need to give ourselves slight grace, but I just need to remind myself that, there's a difference between being uncomfortable and working as hard as I can and just being bored with something. So when I feel like I'm bored with it, I quit, or I feel like I just don't want to do it anymore. So then I feel like I have the right to say I'm not going to do it anymore. Well, I guess I have the right to, but is that what's going to propel me forward and make more money and have all these good things? No, it's not. So what I feel is right and what I want to do and what I enjoy doing or what I just am sick of doing for the day, they aren't the same thing. So I may not want to list more than, my 25, but is that going to get me where I need to be? Probably not. I don't really want to be over 30 or 35 a day, and I've been taking 35 sets of pictures a day so that I can have a day off to go to the flea market if I want to or whatever, but I got to get it together and be able to do more and quit whining that, well, after an hour and a half of pictures, I just don't really want to do it anymore. Oh, well, maybe I break it up into 2 sessions or something, but I gotta quit whining and get it together and push myself harder. And that's what it's about, is pushing myself, because I don't always push myself after that first hour, or maybe I'm not giving it all I have after the first 20 listings. And really I have to give it all I got the whole way through. And sometimes I'm going to have to put in a whole nother set of photos or a whole nother set of listings if I want to get where I want to go. Otherwise, I'm going to be stuck and I'm going to be whining about how I'm not making the income I want to make, and it'll be my fault again. So, I think in the group, we're going to talk about tomorrow. Tomorrow is our second week of the Reseller Restart. So we're going to be talking about coupons and newsletters and sales and stuff like that, and just basically how we can promote ourselves in our business and talk about how we can, reach as many people as we can and have that communication with our followers and our buyers and how we get more followers. And I think followers on eBay are really important, and I think that's really helped my business along the way. And I think it's out there for any of us to get. We just have to know how. And then Tuesday, we're going to talk about just doing more of what works. And that was inspired by the fact that, I know better and I just need to do more of what works. And right now, my store value is constantly shrinking because I'm selling as much as I list most days. So I think I have to kick it up a little bit if I'm going to continue building the value and building the sales. So it's so easy to preach to other people. But we're going to talk about, what is working. For me, I'm very scheduled. I'm really good at being consistent every single day, 7 days a week. I'm consistent with my listings. I'm consistent with just getting it done. But I need to change the parameters to what's acceptable to me as far as what does that mean? What does getting it done for the day mean? And if I'm done, usually I can get my listings and my photographs done before our morning group call, which is at 9 o'clock Central Time. Well, after that call, I kind of just go downhill. I lose steam, I lose momentum, I don't know. I get tired a little bit, and really I just need to get up. Usually I walk Molly after the morning call, and maybe I just need to move around, get my steam back, and put in an extra shift into myself, because I'm just not doing everything I'm capable of doing, and I'm sliding by, and I'm seeing the results of sliding by, and I don't like it. And it's so much easier to whine about it than it is to say, you know what, then I need to kick it up and I need to do another set of photos and another set of listings a day. And I think if I want to get there, that's what I'll have to do. So, what works is that I'm good at the newsletters, I'm good at the coupons, I'm good at sales strategy. I don't get hung up on offers. I don't worry about low balls. I don't worry about things like that. I want my inventory in and out and down the road making me money. And so those are things I'm good at, and I know about consistency, and I know that eBay loves consistency. And so I just need to feed it more. I just need to do more of what's working, and not, I can't believe I let myself get emotional and start reacting to my bad sales, but I certainly did. And it for whatever reason, it doesn't work. And I went back to what I know works, and it seems to be doing better. So do more of what's working. Let's stop the crap that isn't making us money. Let's stop making excuses on why we can't do more. It's going to be hard. And I get that people want this work-life balance, and there is such a thing as work-life balance. But if you're self-employed, especially if you're doing this full-time, you should fully expect to work more hours a week than you ever did punching a clock. this isn't a let's get our day done in 4 hours and then goof off. It is if maybe you have another income in the household, or this is part-time, then that's fine. But if this is your full-time gig and this is how you want to buy a house and you're going to have to finance cars and everything with this business, then, we got to get it together and put as many hours in as we would for a boss that doesn't care about us, And a lot of time we're not putting in those hours that the boss, that we would have for a boss that didn't, we were a number. And so we got to put that effort forth for ourselves and quit whining about that, we need flexibility. We did this for flexibility. Yeah, I can do my job at any time. But if flexibility just means that when I get done at 9 o'clock, then I just screw off and do whatever I want all day, that's not flexibility. That's laziness. And that's on me. And so flexibility just means that if I have an emergency, or if somebody needs me, like actually needs something on the farm or in my life, that I can do my work later. But that doesn't mean I just don't do more because it cuts into my screw off time. So, if you're full time and you're just not able to make it and you're just thinking this isn't going to work out and you're telling me that you're doing 5 a day and you're full time, or 10 a day and you're full time, I can tell you why it's not working out, because you're not doing enough work and you're not giving yourself the full effort you may have put in on corporate America, because, maybe they gave us a nice benefit package, but they didn't care if we couldn't pay our bills, and that paycheck came pretty steady, and this one won't. eBay will cut us off and not think twice about it. So that's all I have for you today. I just thought I'd check in and let you know that, I struggle right along with you. Things are looking up now, but it was on me, and just keep doing more of what we know works. And I think I need to kick it up a notch if I want my income to not just stabilize, but keep growing. So, all right. Have a great week, guys.